Hi, I'm Cody Barcroft, and today I'm going to be persuading you on why you should take a cruise as opposed to an all-inclusive for your vacation this summer. How amazing would it be to wake up in a different beautiful country every day and see what it has to offer? Many of you might think that this is impossible, but a cruise offers just this. According to staticbrain.com, there are over 2,000 ports around the world that you can visit on a cruise. 30 of those ports are within the Caribbean and Mexican area alone. And that typically seems to be where most people like to go. Over 80% of the people said that this is a great way of sampling destinations to see if they'd like to go back later for a longer period of stay. Many of you are wondering where you should begin when you're starting to plan this vacation. You feel overwhelmed because you don't always get the chance to take a vacation that often. You don't know where to begin, and you don't know where you should even go for your vacation. Do you want to stay in state, in country, or would you like to go someplace tropical that may be out of the country? I've taken 3 cruises myself and an all-inclusive. I prefer myself to take cruises because I think it offers a lot better value for money for what I prefer. And there's a lot of things to consider when planning your vacation. Cost is obviously one of the biggest, especially with college students. You're on a limited budget, and a cruise offers better value for money. You pay for exactly what you want to do on a cruise and not extra that you may not benefit from. It's important to figure out additional fees that you may incur throughout this vacation as well. And also, means of transportation are another thing that you need to consider. If you want to drive, that's a pretty popular option with college students, that you carpool with 4 or 5 other kids down to wherever you want to go on vacation to. You need to consider what's included, food costs, alcoholic beverages if that's what you want to do, pools if they're available, what kind of entertainment do they have. Cruises have all of these options. Different room options as well. If you don't want to pay as much for a room with a balcony, you have options of staying indoors with rooms that don't have windows, things like that, for a lot cheaper. The length of the trip is something else that you need to consider. Include your travel time when you do this, whether it be flight or driving. If you only have a week, you need to accommodate for that within your traveling. After listening to this, I believe that you're going to want to take a cruise this summer, and I hope you enjoy what I have to say about it. You're probably asking yourself right now, do I even have time or money to take a vacation? Do I really need one? College students have a lot higher stress levels than most people, just due to the academics. You know, they're worried about passing this class, this test, to move on. And they want to do well, so there's a lot of ill effects from stress. And college students also have a lot of poor habits, drinking, smoking. A cruise can offer you just a break from all this, to where you feel like you can kind of rejuvenate and come back and take on everything. According to CBS News, 77% of employers offer vacation time, typically about 10 days a year. And you should use that for something fun. Don't just waste it on taking a day off here and there and staying at home. You want to enjoy your time and kind of rejuvenate when you're on vacation. Cruising does provide better value for money, and you're able to see a lot more in a shorter period of time. A lot more countries. Typically a 7-day cruise, you would see 4 different countries of your choice. There's a lot more included in all-inclusive resorts, but you do pay a higher cost for that, so that may not be a good option for college students anyways. They have large pools at all-inclusives that people may enjoy, but that kind of takes away from the ambiance of spending your time on a beach and relaxing. If you're going to go someplace tropical, I don't know why you want to stay in the pool all day. And now that you're starting to lean towards taking a cruise, you need to figure out what you're interested in, whether it be snorkeling, zip lining, horseback riding. You need to figure out what your absolute requirements are of taking this vacation. Is it that you do want to see these multiple locations? Are you more concerned with drinking, laying out by a pool all day? You need to know what your personal habits are and what's going to make you happy on this trip. According to cruisecritic.com, you can typically expect to pay about $88 a day for an all-inclusive resort in Mexico, or about $78 for a Western Caribbean cruise that leaves out of Miami. There are additional fees that are incurred with both of these types of vacations: gratuities, flights, taxis, parking fees, things like that. It's all things that you need to factor into your total cost of your trip. There's a lot of websites available out there for you to check into to see what they have to offer. Cruising.org is a great one. It includes all of the cruise liners that are part of the International Cruise Association. Carnival.com, Royal Caribbean, Apple Vacations, and Groupon all have a lot of great prices for both of these, so you can see what they have to offer. Lifehacker and Cruise Critic are some third-party websites that people actually get on there and rate their vacations, so you're going to have a better idea of what you can expect when you take a cruise, and it's a lot of unbiased opinions, so I feel like you get a true feel for what you can expect. So now that you're choosing a cruise, you need to decide what location may be right for you. Typically people want to go to the Caribbean, and that's something you need to consider where you're going to be leaving out of, especially if you're carpooling and you live within the Midwest. It's going to make a lot more sense to drive to some place like Florida or the Carolinas. You're not going to want to drive out to California and try to take a 3 or 4 day cruise. So just think about that when you're planning. Also, a cruise does offer just a great value for money. The onboard eateries are included, non-alcoholic drinks are included, pool use, a lot of different shows and stuff, as we said earlier. You do have the option of buying all-inclusive drink packages like the all-inclusive resorts offer for an additional charge. Typically, like Carnival Cruise is $49 a day on average. So that's something to consider if that's what's important to you. There's many locations available again, and you see a lot of different places over just a few days, which you typically wouldn't get with any other type of vacation. You have a lot of benefits from taking a cruise, like any vacation. You get a lot of reduced stress from this, and you kind of return optimistic because you feel like you've relieved some of that stress and you're ready to take on the next semester. You're going to have improved outcomes such as your grades and tests and so on. And you're going to leave with a feeling of satisfaction because you didn't pay those higher prices of an all-inclusive resort. You paid for exactly what you wanted to do on your trip, and you knew what you were getting with it. You may be asking yourself, what happens if I don't take a cruise this year? Well, the harm of not taking a cruise, you could be continuously stressed from your schoolwork or work life or home life, and this will offer a great outlet to relieve some of that. Again, you may end up paying the higher cost of an all-inclusive and not being able to see those locations that you were hoping for on the trip. Or you may end up not even going anywhere at all, not using that vacation time that you've accrued through work. So now it's time to take action and make a plan. You've had a lot to consider while listening to me talk about this, but the time is now. Summer's almost over, and it's time to consider taking your trip. You need to plan. An all-inclusive is not right for everyone. So I think a cruise is what you'd like to do for the price, and it provides you with the variety that you're looking for. So go out there and plan your cruise today. Thanks for listening.